in the gleaming marble kitchen of the Harper family's sprawling estate in Silicon Valley. Sunlight streamed through floor-to-ceiling windows, casting a sterile glow over the polished surfaces. Sophia Harper, 25, stood clutching her Stanford Business School graduation invitation, her heart pounding with a mix of pride and resentment. Her father, James, sat at the counter, engrossed in his phone, barely acknowledging her presence. "Take the bus to your graduation," he muttered without looking up. "We're taking Ethan car shopping that morning. He's got his eye on the new Tesla Model X." Sophia's grip tightened on the invitation. Ethan, her older brother, was the golden child, a freshly minted senior partner at a prestigious San Francisco law firm. Always draped in tailored suits and radiating the confidence of someone who'd never known doubt. To James and Margaret, Sophia's parents, Ethan was the embodiment of success. Sophia, on the other hand, was the wayward daughter who dared to reject a safe legal career for the unpredictable world of business and tech. "It's my graduation, Dad," she said, her voice low but steady. "Stanford, with honors." Margaret fluttered around the kitchen, arranging a tray of artisanal pastries, her eyes avoiding Sophia's. "Sweetheart, you know how important this is for Ethan," she said, her tone apologetic yet dismissive. "He needs to project the right image now that he's climbing the ranks." Image, that word again. It was the currency of the Harper household. Status. Appearances. The right car in the driveway. Ethan's impending Tesla purchase was just another trophy to flaunt. Sophia, with her quiet ambition and tech obsession, was an afterthought. "The bus goes straight to campus," James added, finally glancing up, his expression one of mild irritation. "Besides, it's not like you've got a VIP cheering section. No boyfriend, no big career plans." The words stung, but Sophia swallowed her retort. If only they knew. If only they'd ever bothered to ask what she did with her time. Why she could afford a sleek loft in Palo Alto. Or how she funded her little tech hobbies, as they called them. "Fine," she said, turning to leave. "Enjoy the Tesla showroom." Back in her loft, Sophia sank into a leather chair, her laptop screen glowing with the latest figures from her cryptocurrency portfolio. Another $500 million spike. Thanks to her blockchain platform's explosive growth in Europe. Her phone buzzed with messages from her executive team at Harper Tech Solutions, updating her on a multi-million-dollar acquisition. Ms. Harper, her AI assistant, Aria, chimed in a crisp voice. "The board meeting is scheduled for 8 a.m. tomorrow. Also, Forbes is confirming your cover shoot for their 30 Under 30 issue." Sophia smirked. "No career plans, Dad?" If James had ever looked past Ethan's polished veneer, he might have noticed his daughter was running a $12.5 billion tech empire. Sophia was no ordinary 25-year-old. As the founder and CEO of Harper Tech Solutions, she'd pioneered breakthroughs in quantum computing, artificial intelligence, and decentralized finance. Her company employed 18,000 people across 4 continents. And her name was whispered in awe by Silicon Valley titans. She owned a fleet of cars, a matte black Lamborghini Aventador, a custom Porsche, and a Tesla she'd bought directly from Elon Musk over coffee at his Fremont factory. Yet, to her family, she was still the girl who wasted her potential, destined to live in Ethan's shadow. 3 days before graduation, Margaret called. "Sophia, about the ceremony?" Her voice wavered. "We might be a bit late. Ethan's Tesla needs custom rims. And the appointments that morning." Sophia cut her off, her tone icy. "Don't worry, Mom. The bus will get me there." She hung up, her mind already racing toward the surprise she'd orchestrated for graduation day, a moment that would force her family to see her. Truly see her, for the first time. On the morning of the ceremony, Sophia stood before her mirror, slipping into a tailored Armani suit beneath her graduation robe. Her phone buzzed with congratulatory texts from tech moguls and venture capitalists. People who knew her as the mastermind behind Harper Tech. "Ms. Harper," Aria announced, "the dean has your introduction prepared. And the Wall Street Journal is ready to publish the feature post-ceremony." Sophia grabbed the keys to her Lamborghini, not a bus ticket, and smiled. "Showtime." At Stanford's campus, she blended into the crowd of graduates, unnoticed by the families pouring in. Right on cue, she spotted her parents and Ethan pulling up in his gleaming Tesla, its chrome accents catching the California sun. James was glued to his phone. Margaret was fussing over Ethan's tie, and Ethan was snapping photos of his car, grinning like a kid on Christmas. They didn't see Sophia walk past, her head held high. The ceremony began with the usual fanfare, speeches, applause, the rustle of programs. Sophia sat among her peers, her heart racing as she waited for her moment. Then, the dean stepped to the podium, his voice commanding the packed auditorium. Before we confer degrees, we must honor an extraordinary individual among us, he said, pausing for effect. Today, we celebrate the youngest self-made billionaire in tech history. At 25, she has redefined quantum computing, blockchain, and AI. Her company, Harper Tech Solutions, employs thousands and has reshaped the global tech landscape. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Sophia caught her father's head snapping up from his phone. His brow creased in confusion. The dean continued, "Please join me in recognizing Sophia Harper, whose net worth surpassed $12.5 billion this morning after her company's latest quantum computing breakthrough." The auditorium erupted in gasps and applause. Sophia rose, smoothing her robe, her eyes locking onto her family's stunned faces. Margaret's program slipped from her hands. Ethan's jaw dropped, and James looked like he'd been struck by lightning. Ms. Harper has also become Stanford's largest private donor, contributing $1.8 billion to our innovation programs, the dean added, sparking another wave of cheers. As Sophia approached the stage, giant screens flashed images of her achievements, HarperTech's headquarters, her AI patents, her blockchain platforms revolutionizing finance. The family that had dismissed her as directionless now sat frozen, grappling with the reality unfolding before them. At the podium, Sophia shed her robe, revealing her Armani suit. The crowd hushed. "Thank you, Dean Carter," she began, her voice steady but electric. "5 years ago, I came to Stanford with a vision and a single line of code. While some were chasing status." She paused, her gaze finding Ethan, who clutched his Tesla keys like a lifeline. "I was building the future." Cameras flashed, reporters scribbled, and the Wall Street Journal article went live, trending within minutes. Harper Tech isn't just a company, it's a revolution. Our quantum computing breakthrough this morning didn't just make headlines, it redefined what's possible. And yes, I did it all while graduating with honors. Margaret's eyes glistened with tears, not of disappointment. For once, James sat rigid, likely calculating how many Tesla's $12.5 billion could buy. Ethan stared, his usual swagger replaced by disbelief. Sophia held up her phone, displaying HarperTech's soaring stock price on the screens. "To those who think success is a fancy car or a corner office," she said, her voice cutting through the silence. "Think bigger. The greatest achievements happen when no one's watching." She allowed herself a small smile. "And yes, Dad, I took the bus sometimes, not because I had to, but because I was too busy building an empire to care about appearances." The applause was thunderous. Tech leaders in the audience, people who'd known Sophia's secret all along, nodded in respect. Her executive team, scattered among the crowd, beamed with pride. As she returned to her seat, Aria's voice buzzed in her earpiece. "Your Lamborghini is ready for the photo shoot. Ms. Harper, the Forbes team is waiting." Perfect. After the ceremony, Sophia stood by her Lamborghini, its sleek lines drawing gasps from photographers capturing the youngest billionaire graduate. Ethan's Tesla, parked nearby, suddenly looked ordinary. Her family approached, moving as if in a daze. Margaret's mascara streaked her cheeks. James's usual swagger was gone. Ethan gripped his car keys, his face a mix of awe and humiliation. "Sophia," Margaret whispered, her voice trembling. "How? When?" Sophia handed her keys to the valet, her expression calm but unyielding. "For years, Mom, while you were all fawning over Ethan's law career, I was building something bigger." James stammered, "But you never said anything. All those talks about your future." Sophia cut in, You mean all those times you told me to get a real job like Ethan? You never asked what I was doing. Ethan stepped forward, his voice shaky. This can't be real. You're my little sister. Sophia met his gaze. CEO of Harper Tech. Owner of the world's leading quantum computing platform. Yes. Ethan. That's me. Her phone buzzed. Aria relaying a message from Elon Musk about a satellite deal. Tell him I'll call back. Sophia said, noting James's wide-eyed reaction to the casual mention of Musk. I'm having a family moment. Margaret sobbed. Why didn't you tell us? We're your family. Sophia's voice softened, but her words were firm. Would you have believed me? When I mentioned my first startup, you told me to focus on finding a husband. When I talked about tech, Dad suggested I follow Ethan's path. Another stock alert flashed. Harper Tech up 10%. I wanted to prove something. She continued, not just to you, but to everyone who thinks success has one shape. While you were obsessed with Ethan's Tesla, I was changing the world. James stepped closer, his voice uncharacteristically humble. We were wrong. Sophia, so wrong. She nodded. I know, but I didn't do this for your approval. I did it because I saw a future no one else could. She handed him a sleek business card, black, with Sophia Harper, CEO, Harper Tech Solutions, in silver. Dinner tonight, 7 p.m. My penthouse. My driver will pick up Grandma. She's known all along. She was my first investor. Margaret gasped. Grandma knew? Sophia smiled. She asked about my dreams instead of telling me what they should be. As she turned to meet the waiting tech executives, James called after her. We missed so much. Sophia. She glanced back. Success doesn't wait for permission. Dad. It just takes vision. With that, she walked away, reporters trailing her, the weight of her empire shining brighter than any Tesla ever could. The sun dipped low over Stanford's campus, painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson as the graduation ceremony drew to a close. Sophia Harper stood beside her matte black Lamborghini Aventador, its curves gleaming under the California light, a stark contrast to the ordinary sheen of her brother Ethan's new Tesla parked nearby. Photographers swarmed, their cameras flashing to capture the youngest self-made billionaire in tech history for Forbes and the Wall Street Journal. The air buzzed with excitement. But for Sophia, the real moment was approaching, the confrontation with her family, who had just learned the truth about her $12.5 billion empire. Her parents, James and Margaret, and her brother Ethan approached slowly, their faces a mixture of shock and disbelief. Margaret's mascara streaked her cheeks, her hands trembling as she clutched her purse. James, usually so composed in his tailored suits, looked like a man who'd lost his bearings, his eyes darting between Sophia and the reporters circling her. Ethan, still gripping his Tesla key fob, seemed smaller, his usual swagger replaced by a stunned silence. They had just witnessed Sophia's triumph on stage, her recognition as a billionaire, a Stanford record breaker, and a global tech titan. The family that had dismissed her as a dreamer with no direction now faced the reality of her success. Sophia, Margaret whispered, her voice breaking as she reached out, then hesitated. How did this happen? When? Sophia handed her car keys to the valet, her expression calm but piercing. For years, Mom, she said, her tone steady, while you were all celebrating Ethan's law firm promotions and his new cars. I was building Harper Tech Solutions. 5 companies, 18,000 employees, and breakthroughs that changed the world. She paused, letting the weight of her words settle. You never asked what I was doing. You never cared. James stammered, his usual confidence crumbling. But, we talked about your future so many times. You never said anything about this. Sophia's lips curved into a faint, bittersweet smile. You mean all those times you told me to get a real job like Ethan? Or when you suggested I focus on finding a husband instead of chasing tech hobbies? Her voice was calm but unrelenting, each word a quiet indictment. You didn't ask, Dad. You assumed I was wasting my time. Ethan stepped forward, his Tesla keys glinting in his hand. This can't be real, he said, his voice tinged with disbelief. You're my little sister. You took the bus. Sophia met his gaze, unflinching. CEO of Harper Tech. Architect of the world's leading quantum computing platform. Yes, Ethan, that's me. And I took the bus sometimes, not because I had to, but because I was too busy rewriting the future to care about your idea of status. Her phone buzzed, and her AI assistant, Aria, spoke softly in her earpiece. Ms. Harper, Elon Musk is on the line about the satellite partnership. Sophia raised a hand. Tell him I'll call back. I'm having a moment. Margaret's eyes welled with fresh tears. Why didn't you tell us? Sophia, we're your family. The question hung in the air, heavy with years of neglect. Sophia's expression softened, but her resolve didn't waver. Would you have believed me, Mom, when I tried to tell you about my first startup? You said it was a phase. When I mentioned my tech projects, Dad told me to follow Ethan's path, law school, corner office, the right kind of success. She gestured toward the Lamborghini, its sleek lines a symbol of her independence. I didn't need your permission to build something bigger. I just needed you to see me. James ran a hand through his hair, his voice uncharacteristically quiet. We were wrong, Sophia, so wrong. We thought Ethan was the one to watch. Sophia nodded, her eyes steady. I know, but I didn't do this to prove you wrong. I did it because I saw a future no one else could. A world where quantum computing solves problems we haven't even named yet. Where AI empowers millions. Where blockchain makes trust universal. She pulled a sleek black business card from her purse, embossed with Sophia Harper, CEO, Harper Tech Solutions, in silver. Dinner tonight, 7 p.m. My penthouse. My driver will pick up Grandma. She's known all along. She was my first investor. Margaret's gasp was audible. Grandma knew? Sophia's smile was warm but tinged with triumph. Grandma Lily asked about my dreams. She listened when I talked about algorithms and code. She gave me my first $10 to start Harper Tech. Back when it was just me and a laptop in a dorm room. The revelation landed like a bombshell. While James and Margaret had been preoccupied with Ethan's law school triumphs and corporate milestones, their own mother had seen the spark in Sophia and bet on her vision. Ethan, still processing, stared at the Lamborghini. All those times I offered you rides, you had this? Sophia shrugged, her tone light but pointed. I had a driver, and this car, and the Porsche in my garage, and the Tesla I bought from Elon himself. She pointed to a custom McLaren parked nearby, its vibrant red paint catching the sunlight. Watching you all think I couldn't afford a cab was educational. It showed me how little you thought of me. The crowd around them grew, tech executives, venture capitalists, and reporters eager to speak with the billionaire graduate. Sophia's phone buzzed again, a stock alert flashing. Harper Tech up another 12% since her speech. The Wall Street Journal article was now viral, trending across social media with headlines like, Stanford's billionaire prodigy shocks the world. Yet, in this moment, Sophia's focus was on her family. Their stunned faces a canvas of regret and awe. Dinner tonight, she repeated, her voice firm but not unkind. I'll send my jet for Grandma. She's been my biggest cheerleader. And she deserves to celebrate this with us. She turned to leave, but James caught her arm. His grip gentle but desperate. Sophia, we missed so much. We were so focused on the wrong things. For the first time, Sophia saw something new in her father's eyes, humility. She nodded. You were. But success doesn't need anyone's approval. Dad, it just needs vision and grit. I had both. As she walked away, flanked by her executive team and trailed by reporters, Ethan muttered under his breath. I can't believe my little sister's a billionaire. Sophia didn't turn back, but a smile played on her lips. She'd spent years in the shadows, underestimated and overlooked, while her family worshipped Ethan's superficial victories. Now, the world knew her name, and her family could never unsee the truth. That evening, in her penthouse overlooking the twinkling lights of Silicon Valley, Sophia hosted her family. The dining room, with its minimalist design and floor-to-ceiling windows, felt like a throne room for a tech queen. Grandma Lily arrived, her eyes sparkling with pride as she hugged Sophia tightly. I always knew you'd change the world. Kiddo, she whispered. The table was set with crystal and silver, A stark contrast to the modest dinners of Sophia's childhood, where conversations revolved around Ethan's achievements. Margaret, still emotional, raised her glass. To Sophia, she said, her voice trembling, "We're so proud." James nodded, his usual reserve replaced by quiet awe. Ethan, for once, had no quips, his Tesla key fob tucked away in his pocket. Sophia lifted her glass, her gaze sweeping over her family. "To building something real," she said. "To taking the bus when everyone else was chasing cars, and building an empire while they weren't looking." The view from her penthouse was breathtaking. Stanford's campus a distant glow. But the real victory was the shift in her family's eyes, the realization that their wayward daughter had outshone them all. Sophia sipped her wine, savoring the moment. Sometimes, the best triumph isn't proving others wrong, it's becoming so undeniably right that they can never look at you the same way again.